Baal and the promise of economic prosperity. Infant sacrifice was a significant part of the cult of Baal, a Phoenician or Canaanite god. Infant children were sacrificed to Baal in order to secure prosperity. Baal was god of prosperity because he controlled the weather, which is crucial in any agricultural economy. The burnt bones of infants sacrificed to Baal were buried in urns under stone markers. Many thousands of these have been discovered in the ruins of ancient Carthage and its outlying towns. It is estimated that in ancient Carthage the ritual killing of infant children in sacrifice to Baal averaged about 2.5 children per day. In the United States, the sanctioned killing of infants that are sacrificed in deference to the Mammon promise of economic prosperity numbers over 4,000 per day. The nations that worshipped Baal no longer exist because of its selfishness and cruelty to its own children. The United States wants to vote for a man that promises them economic prosperity, despite the fact that this man has promised Planned Parenthood that the first thing he will do as president is to sign legislation that will remove all local, state and federal restrictions to abortion, including partial birth abortion.
Well, the first thing I'd do as president is sign the Freedom of Choice Act. That's the first thing that I'd do.
Last year, before the Planned Parenthood Action Fund, Barack Obama told abortion-on-demand activists, "The first thing I'd do as president is sign the Freedom of Choice Act." With a single stroke of the pen, the so-called Freedom of Choice Act would essentially wipe away virtually every state law that limits abortion nationwide, allowing abortion on demand in all 9 months of pregnancy for any reason and without any restrictions. It would undo decades of legal work, research and educational successes. It would invalidate all of the major types of pro-life laws that have been upheld by the Supreme Court in the decades since Roe v. Wade. Among the types of laws that the Freedom of Choice Act would invalidate are the national ban on partial birth abortion that the Supreme Court upheld on April 18 in Gonzalez v. Carhart, the Hyde Amendment, which prohibits most federal funding of abortion, and the laws of many states that restrict state funding of abortion. Laws in effect in some jurisdictions that bar abortions in government-operated hospitals. Laws requiring parental notification or consent, or judicial authorization, before an abortion can be performed on a minor daughter. Laws requiring that girls and women seeking abortion receive certain information on matters such as fetal development and alternatives to abortion, and then wait a specified period before the abortion is actually performed, usually 24 or 48 hours. Conscience laws, allowing doctors, nurses, or other state-licensed professionals, and hospitals or other healthcare providers, to decline to provide or pay for abortions. In addition, the provision of the so-called Freedom of Choice Act that prohibits any government agency or official from taking any action that would discriminate against the exercise of the so-called rights that are created from the Freedom of Choice Act, with respect to any benefits, facilities, services, or information, would leave government officials open to lawsuits for anything that anybody thought discriminates against abortion. This sweeping mandate could cover everything from rural health clinics, to health education programs in public schools, and even to pro-life speeches by public officials. But the hardened hearts of the abortion-on-demand cult do not care. They are willing, like the ancient cult of Baal worshippers, to sacrifice America's infant for their selfish interests, and in doing so, fall for the strategy of radical Islamic terrorists to kill as many Americans as they can. This is a tragedy in the making, and Americans will have no one to blame but themselves.